Have you been feeling burnt out? Do you feel like you're not living your best life? Do you feel like you should be able to have more freedom and flexibility? Are there questions that you ask? I feel like this is a commercial. Hi, I'm Cha Jones, and today I want to talk about how I escaped burnout. So, for those of you who have joined me in the past here on Life's a Vacate, welcome back. Happy New Year. It's 2025. We did it. We made it. We are here. For those of you who are meeting me for the very first time, hello. I'm like yo traveling homegirl who who got too much going on, but also cares about the people. So I am a expat coach. I am also a lifestyle consultant, and I specialize in helping people live a softer life. So I am happy to be talking about what I'm talking about today. I haven't done one of these videos in a while because I've been traveling. I've been traveling. Like when you work for someone and you go on vacation and you come back, you need a vacation from your vacation. Well, I need a vacation from my vacation, which is my life. So in October, I basically took a whole month, went to the United States. That was interesting. Then I got back. There was a election right after I got back. A couple days after I got back, there was an election. I was traveling on. I was traveling on Halloween, like through the night, and candy or nothing. Then, then we went through Thanksgiving. I am the founder of Brothers and Sisters of Kuala Lumpur. So I have been doing a lot of events. One of them was Thanksgiving or Friendsgiving that I had, and I hosted that. So it was a whole lot of food that I probably shouldn't have made. And I've been doing events since then. So then that took me into December. And in December, we had all the holidays. Plus, I was on game nights, hosting happy hours. I was doing a lot. And that took us into the new year. So here we are. Had a wonderful new year. Go to my Instagram. You can see me. Sure. But anyways, let's talk about how I escaped burnout. And this is a lovely time to also tell you that I have a new course. It's just $7.95. That's all. It's an hour course, and it's if you are in that phase where you are burnt out or you feel like you're about to be burnt out, or you just like, hey, it is a brand new year. I took some rest, I rejuvenated, but I want to make sure that this year is different than any other year. And I want to plan and prepare and use my vacation days wisely. I have a course, it's 1 hour, and it's strictly talking about how you can create pause. And then I give examples of different ways that you can create pause throughout this year. Um, I know we're at the beginning of the year. A lot of you are not burnt out because you just took some time off. Some of you are still burnt out because you haven't taken any time off and you worked up to the last deadline and you're still burnt out. Whatever your situation is, I want you to know that it is time for you to take care of you, put you first. So that's what we're doing in 2025. We're going to thrive in 2025, but that means that you look the person in the mirror. You look that man or woman in the mirror and say, listen, no more. I'm not doing life the same way. Because if you continue to do the same thing in the same way, that's that's the definition of insanity. And we don't want you out here crazy. We don't. I don't. How much I hear crazy. So let's talk about it. I have not worked for someone in some years. So I originally, when I was young, I about 24, I bought a house and I decided I don't want to work for these people no more. I bought my house and about 3 months later, I gave them a I resigned. I gave them a resignation letter and quit. But I had a plan. I had 6, 7 months of salary saved up. But I had a plan because I was tired. I was tired of looking out the window, seeing everybody live their life but me, right? And I didn't want to do that. I was 24 years old. Uh, I No, I was 23. I was 23 years old. I bought my house, and then a couple months later, I quit my job. And then I had decided I wanted to go into PR marketing, and I wanted to have a PR company. And so I established my business. I went out and because I did not have the work experience, I volunteered, and I did that for about 7 years. I started my business that way, and I started doing conferences. I worked with Stellar Awards. I did all these different things. I put on some major events, and I did that for 7 years, and then things started getting tough. It was coming up to 2008, and the market started to change, and she had to go get her a job. So I went and got a job, and in that job, loved my job. I went to work on Sunday nights because I had to fly out, and then I got to a city. I went to sleep, woke up, hit the road. I was opening up dental clinics, and I was doing the work I love to do. I was always traveling, so that was great. I got to see places I never thought I would ever go to, and I got to experience things I never thought I would experience. So, hence, I've been to one of the reasons I had been to a lot of states, anyways, but I have been to 43 of the 48 states, continental states, and I have been to Hawaii. I have not been to Alaska, and I have been to Puerto Rico. So a lot of that is because with that job, not only did I travel every week, but also when I took vacation, I just extended off my work. So I would fly into Miami and then fly out to Miami, from Miami to wherever I wanted to go, or wherever I had to work. And so with that, it got to a point where I was depleted. Okay, I was depleted. So it started like this. I flew to Connecticut. I drove to upstate New York, to Newburgh, and I was working there. I got a call on Wednesday to say, "Hey, we need you to go to Colorado so that you can do this grand opening." I went. Right, that morning, I woke up. I ate my breakfast. I had my clothes packed. I had my uh, roller bag for my laptop, and I was on the phone in a meeting. Left there, drove all the way to Connecticut, turned into the rental car return place, and realized she does not have clothes because her luggage is back in upstate New York. What tell you what? I was like, oh shit. Literally, like, oh my God. I was like, I don't have time. And that was hella early. I was like 2, 3 hours early for my flight. However, I was like, it's oh no, I can't drive all the way back there. So what I had to do was FedEx my clothes to Colorado and hope and pray that they got there before the grand opening because I needed a suit. But I also had to be proactive and plan for the what ifs. So I get to Denver. I try to rent a car. They have no car. They were out of cars. So I had to take a shuttle. van all the way to Greeley. It was like an hour, hour and a half. I get there, it's like hella late, and but it was no, it was about 8, 9 o'clock. I get there, and just so happened there was a Kmart across the street from the hotel. I check in the hotel. I walk across the street to the Kmart. I had to get underclothes. I had to get deodorant. I had to get something to, brush my teeth, all these things, right? And so then I was like, okay, I don't know, my clothes gonna be here, so I'm gonna have to find a dress. So I found the little cute dress and um got back to the hotel, woke up that morning. The manager came and picked me up because I didn't have a car. While I was at the office, car shows up, so Hurt shows up. When I get done, because it was like an hour, 2 hours, when I get done, then FedEx shows up with my clothes. As I'm going into the hotel, FedEx is showing up. So I have a car. Now I can drive that rental car that just showed up back to Denver and literally catch another flight going back to Baltimore. I had to do something in the Baltimore office the next day on Friday. And then I literally had to, to drive to DC to do something at another clinic. And then I got to DC and I checked into a hotel. I closed all the blinds, the curtains, everything. I told them don't call me for nothing. Turned off my BlackBerry. I turned off my phone. I turned off everything. And I went to sleep. So at that point, I was beyond burnt out. I was on a whole nother level of like literally I was breaking out in hives. I was tired. And the fact that I had left my clothes in a city, going to another city, it was because I had been to in that trip it was 5 cities in 2 days. And I was exhausted. I was exhausted. I didn't have no more to give. I was depleted. That was the first time in my life I realized this it ain't worth it. I had puffed up like a whole Pillsbury dough girl. I puffed all the way up, okay? I was exhausted. I was discombobulated. I was leaving every Sunday. I was paying rent in a place that I never even laid my head. So I devised a plan that I was going to go do what it was that I wanted to really do, which was be a life coach. And on, I had at that time I had 30 clinics. And while I was in South Carolina, I had this bright idea. I was going to go to Charlotte. And I didn't have any clinics in Charlotte, but I had 3 clinics in South Carolina. I was like, I can be closer to these clinics. Nobody, I ain't got nobody permission, ain't asked nobody nothing. I get to Charlotte, I drive around, I find these brand new apartments. I love them. Sign the lease. Now I'm supposed to move in 2 weeks to Charlotte. My lease had came to an end in Nashville, but I worked out of Nashville. That was my headquarters. But I decided, okay, I'm about to go work from home and I'm going to study life coaching and I'm going to do all these things I want to do for myself. And literally, I get back to Nashville the next week and I'm in the office for the first time for 3 days. And I'm sitting in the office trying to figure out how am I going to tell my boss that I'm moving to Charlotte and I've already got a lease and yeah, whatever. That whole day, people are going in and out of the office. I'm not paying attention. So about 4 o'clock, my boss brings me into the office and he says, hey, I'm sure you've seen people leaving with boxes. She ain't seen nothing because she ain't paying nothing. She worried about what she need to worry about. Huh. And so he says we had to, we have to downsize. One of my clinics in DC went through some stuff. Was not my fault, but I had advised them not to do something and they did it anyways, and it was a ripple effect. So everybody was getting laid off. And so they had to close clinics, all this stuff. And so I didn't know, but I was the last person to get laid off that day. And was was elated. It's like, yes, I got a severance package. I got the opportunity to go do the things I wanted to do because they were going to pay for education for certain things. So I went, signed up for life coaching. I got 2 life coaching certifications during the time. I had 8 months of salary. So I went to Charlotte and I have to worry about nothing because everything happened. And for me, that's how the universe works. When I started to put stuff out there and I'm like, okay, I don't know how to figure this out, but I do know this is what I want. Once I know what I want, we can then move forward. And the universe will create space. If you've ever read The Alchemy, read that book, The Alchemist, read that book. That's my life. Like the universe will conspire to help you once you know what you want and you state it and you put it out there and you start moving towards it. Then all the avenues will start opening. So I say all that to say, while living my best life, how I got here, where I can now help other people carve out and create plans so that they can live their best life. I had to go through some things. I know what it is to be burnt out. I have been, and that then opened the gates and the way for me to live abroad because through that process, opportunity came to me because a recruiter reached out and gave me an opportunity to move to South Korea. That is where my soft life journey actually began when I moved to Korea. But prior to that, I was Pillsbury Dough Girl, Puff Puff. I mean, I'll show you some pictures. I might throw some up. But I'll show you some pictures of I just was not happy. I was eating out. I was eating good. It was expensive. I was at McCormick and Schnucks. I was at Ruth Chris. I was eating good food. Maybe not the right food, not at the right time. And I wasn't feeding myself like I normally cook. And so I was burnt out, depleted, and at a breaking point, and the universe gave me an opportunity. So I want to talk about how you don't have to be at that breaking point. I have since then created a life of vacay where I live my soft life every day. I have a 5-year-old son. We travel the world. We live in Kuala Lumpur. I wake up when I feel like it. Not true because sometimes I got meetings because people live in America and they be contacting me. So sometimes I wake up at 8, 7, 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. That's not my ideal thing. But I want to talk about how I escaped burnout to build a softer life, to be able to show up, to be able to talk to people about how they too can create this life. You don't have to wait till you're damn near dead and ready to retire to live this life, right? You don't. I have been living a softer life since I was about 33 years old. I'm 48, I'll be 49 in a few months. It's not always easy, but it's worth it. So let me look at you. You're worth it. It's time, right? It's time for you to make some decisions that this year is not the same year that you constantly have been repeating on repeat, loop in, loop in, loop in, loop out for the last I don't know how many years. It's time for you to decide what it is that you want. Maybe you do want to live abroad. Maybe you do want to have a flex schedule. Maybe you do want to work remote. Maybe you are done and you want to take early retirement, or you just want to simply retire and you like, listen, I haven't always saved correctly. Or I did save, but it's not enough for the inflation that is here in America or wherever you are. So now it's time for you to make some different decisions. Let me help you do that. So the one thing that I did during that time and after that time was give myself permission to stop. So I realized that I didn't want to feel like I needed to earn rest or to prove that I had to be worthy of this thing called rest. Okay, I'm not doing that. I'm tired. I'm stopping. I'm going to sit down over here and lay my head for some hours and get that good sleep. That good sleep. The sleep that you be like, ooh, you wake up and you be like, your body. Give yourself permission to stop, to pause. Now, again, I will state this. This is my shameless plug, but I do have a course. It's 1 hour, $7.95. Please go. It's in the description. We're going to talk about the power of pause. Baby, power of pause is everything. It is extremely important. So I took a pause, literally. I stopped overbooking my schedule. I stopped saying yes to stuff that I didn't want to say yes to. I stopped running and chasing my own tail. I asked myself, what do you really, really, really want? And it is imperative that you ask those three reallys because you get clear about what you want. Ask yourself, what do you really, really, really want? What am I doing that doesn't align with that thing? Stop doing that. Stop. It was a little jarring at first. I felt guilty about certain things at first. Um, but what I knew was that I needed to align with a higher something. That there was something missing in my life, that I needed to start moving towards that thing that I really wanted. Say no to those things that I don't. And I remember the first time somebody called me and asked me to do something that didn't align with that. And I sat on the phone, I got quiet. They were like, hello. I was like, I can't help you. I can't do it. That's going to be a no for me. You would have thought I shot somebody. But when I hung up, I felt better because I didn't sacrifice myself for something I knew I had no desire to do that. Yes, it was difficult to say yes, to say yes to myself and no to something that wasn't aligned. But ultimately, that's the only way you're going to get to where you want to be. Yep. So that's the first thing. The second thing is to establish non negotiable boundaries. And that's really what I was doing when I said no to what it was that I didn't want to do. It's a hard no. So I also have this thing where either I say yes, it can't be just a yes. It has to be a hell yes. It has to be hell yes. I'm doing that. I'm just doing. I'm jumping 2 feet into it. But that's also part of my boundaries because I'm saying yes to what I want to do. And I had to learn to really sit with and be like, no. And I even remember where I said yes to something because I felt obligated. And after I sat with it and it just kept like right here in my gut, I felt like, no. So I had to learn to say, on second thought, I don't think I can do that. Actually, I know that I cannot do that because it's not aligned with what I'm trying to do. And at first, people were like, did she really say? Yes, she did. So what I did was I created hours, especially when I went back to being self employed after working for someone and then coming back to being self employed. I had to make my own office hours and I had to set boundaries. And there were times people called me and said, "Hey, let's go eat lunch." And I knew they was going to talk for 4 hours. No, I can't do that. I have a deadline, a contract, a consultancy I need to go ahead and finish. So that's going to be a no. I had to limit access to my time. And let me tell y'all something. I know y'all don't really, really know me, but know this. Like, I'm a nurturer, I'm a giver, but I like to talk. So if we sit down, listen, we can talk for 4 or 5 hours. I'm going to be in heaven because I love to talk. I love helping people. I love helping people figure out what it is that they want to do. And so I can get lost in that. So I had to be like, listen, it's a hard stop. I got 1 hour for this lunch and I gotta go. I have to start looking at I don't even wear a watch, but my phone. I have to be like, okay, it's time to go. I have to rearrange answering emails and set hours and decided, okay, I'm not gonna take clients. I have to block off time on my calendar. It's a hard stop. Not doing it. I'm not doing this on the weekend. Now that I have a child, this is a lot easier to say. Um, but I had to get used to doing that because I wasn't. I had to walk away from relationships and obligations. I had a whole 15-month-old child. I had to sit down and be like, okay, is this relationship aligned with where I want to go? It no longer serves me. And so I am going to go work on me because I am the only common denominator in all the things that I do. And I can't worry about what they are. So whatever it is they doing, I have to take responsibility for me. And so I walked away from a relationship and that was one of the hardest things because there was even a point where I felt like, okay, I should go back, even though I knew that relationship didn't serve me. And I had to look at myself and be like, we don't go back. We don't do that. We don't do that. And it was hard because I wanted a family. I didn't want a child. I wanted a family. And so I had to get selfish and it's not really being selfish. It's actually being really responsible and aware and cognizant of what your needs and desires are because you come first. If you catch any plane, they're going to tell you, put your face mask on first because you can't help somebody if you dying. They do it. It's just impossible. So it's not selfish, it's necessary. And that's what you have to say to yourself. You have to truly believe it's not selfish. It's imperative, actually. Okay, so number three. The third thing I had to do is stop running on empty. Baby, you cannot run on empty and help nobody. You cannot give from an empty cup. You can give from an overflowing cup. You can get anything extra from me. Like if I got overflow, you got it. If my cup is at the rim, but it ain't running over, you can't get it. I'm sorry, I'm gonna tell you. I realized that my body and my mind was screaming, yelling, demanding rest. And one thing I know for sure is that for me, my body, when I'm depleted, no, I'm fat. I'm fat. I'm miserable. My clothes are bulging, and I start having hives. So my body is trying to tell me, it's sending you signals. Listen, you not aligned with your highest and best good. So, baby, pull back. So I realized that my body, my mind was screaming and asking me to realign myself. So what I did was I prioritized my sleep. I got serious about my diet and what I was putting in my body. I created time for me to rest. I made rest intentional, not just a cat nap, not running off of fumes, not collapsing into the bed, but actually prioritizing that I get some sleep, 8 hours. I can sleep for eight. I can sleep for nine. Nine will start waking me up. But 8 hours, I'm good on eight. But I was running off of four, five. And then I rediscovered the art of doing absolutely Nathan. Nada, zilch, sitting with myself. I'm my best friend. I'm my own best friend. I am not one of those people who get bored sitting in quietness. I'm an introvert at the core of who I am. I do not charge with people. I charge with myself. And if I'm depleted, I need me. I need me time. I need to go run me some water, put some Epsom salt in that bathtub, and baby, come back to life. I need to be rejuvenated. And so that is the best thing that I could do for myself. The moment I slow down, the moment I realize, okay, you're doing too much, it gives me the time to own my needs and desires and get back to self. And that's what I did. Then the fourth thing, I shifted from doing to being. Again, I'm my best friend. So I don't have to go out and do a whole bunch of things to be feeling like I'm worthy. I'm good. Like right here in the quiet. You hear this? Peace. Love it. It's peace. So I let go of the idea that my values were tied to how much I achieved, how hard I hustled, how many clients I was out here getting. And I embraced the beauty of saying, I like peace. I embrace quiet time. I embrace sitting back, chilling. Like I'll go get me a bottle of wine and that's gonna put me to sleep anyway. So I get me a bottle of wine and I was. I am. I don't have to do anything. And the funny thing is, I started attracting the things that I desired. I could manifest more because I wasn't out trying to chase it anymore. I was allowing it to come and be all in my feminine energy, just attracting. And so, what I did was I took mindful moments, practiced by journaling, meditating. There was a time where I just every morning I had this journaling book and I did mindful meditations and I would meditate and then I would journal. I'll write a journal prompt and then in that meditation, I would sit there and I would write everything that came to me. And I was so clear and fluid. And life was just happening. I started asking myself more questions and being honest with myself. See, you can't lie to yourself because yourself know you. You gotta say self, what's going on, right? And I would ask myself, how do I want to feel? How do I want to look? How do I want to show up in this situation? What do I need? Who do I need? And this is how you call in collaboration is who do you need to show up for you to get to the next level? And when you're clear about that, then you have purposeful meetings and the universe starts sending you people on target. Like, bam, I need that person in my life. I found I had small joys, um, small pleasures that then led to bigger pleasures, bigger joys. And I started savoring my food. I started savoring relationships. I started finding out if that relationship was for me before I got into a lot of things that helped me identify with me and what I truly valued and wanted. And this is the shift that started to change and remind me that I want to be here. I want to connect with this. I want to live in a certain way. And that's what started to happen. Um, the fifth thing, I learned to curate more joyful moments, to really be, because I had started to learn to be more present with myself. I also learned to be present with other people. And so burnt out had robbed me and stolen a lot of my joy because I was rushing, I was running, I was chasing my tail. And this gave me the opportunity to sit back and find myself again and realize, okay, these are the things that are important to me. So I revisited my hobbies. I started painting. I have some wonderful paintings. I'm self taught. Um, I started cooking again. I love to cook. I love doing poetry. I started writing again. I even took a creative writing course during this time, and it just allowed me to come back to self. I made time for simple pleasures. Um, I could then have those coffee conversations, and if it lasted 4 hours, it was intentional, right? It wasn't, I gotta be somewhere. It was, okay, I want to enjoy this moment. And I got to explore. I even took a samba class. I took um, another dancing class. But I just started to like really think about what is it that I want to do and show up. And I just did those things. I said yes to myself. And then this is around the same time I read the book by Shonda Rhimes, The Year of Yes. And so I then created my own year of yes. And I did the things that, if it, like I said, if it was just a yes, I didn't do it. If it was a hell yes, I did it. If I wanted to go horseback riding, I went horseback riding. If I wanted to take a flight to Miami, I took a flight to Miami. If I wanted to be like, okay, I'm going to Hong Kong, I went and I did those things because I was answering to me and I was answering to what was calling me. And that's important. I wasn't just escaping burnout. I was about rebuilding and creating a softer life that aligned with purpose for me. And those are the 5 things that I did to help me escape burnout and to not have to ever be in that place. I haven't been in that place since I was laid off and I regained myself. And when I like really looked at what I valued, where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do, and life has been unfolding. Has it been an easy journey? Absolutely not. Because sometimes you have to make hard decisions. You have to tell people you love no, that they can't have you do those things that you used to do, that you have to set boundaries. You have to do these things. But the big takeaway is that it doesn't happen overnight, but you have to start. You have to start somewhere. You have to decide that you want to do something better. It is now 2025. Some of you have had rest over the last couple of weeks during the holidays. And then some of you have not because you stopped your job for that break time, but you were still running hard, doing everything for everybody else, making sure that people had a happy holiday, making sure the food was cooked, making sure, people got places or you went places, but you never had any downtime to actually stop, pause, and reflect. And that is important. So, if you are a person who wants to create a softer life in 2025, this is your call. I'm calling you forward. I'm asking you to take an hour out of your time to take my course for 1 hour, $7.95. That is what you spend in at Starbucks. Go take time and invest in yourself. Spend 1 hour. Actually, take the course because a lot of people y'all sign up for courses, y'all don't even take the damn course. So take the course. Invest in yourself. Give back to yourself, and really dive deep. The information is down in the description, so you can take the course at $7.95. But also decide that you want to live this life differently. This year, you're going to start doing something different than you've ever done before. You're going to get the accountability part. Doesn't have to be me, but I can be your accountability. If you feel like I resonate with you, let's talk. And maybe we do the discovery call and you say, it's not a good fit. I can refer you. I got plenty of coach friends, accountability friends. Start to sit. But the first question you should ask yourself, and this is the first thing I'm gonna tell you anyways, what's your why? Your why has to be so big that it scares you. But it has to be something that you truly want to do, and the desire that you like, I don't care. I'm not losing this. I'm not leaving. If tomorrow's my last day, I'm not leaving here if I haven't accomplished this. Your why is what drives you. So get clear about your why. We can work on the mindset. And sometimes that's a little difficult because you got to start doing something different that you haven't done before, and your muscles need to, get in sync. But it's imperative that you show up for yourself now. We're not playing small anymore. We're not putting ourselves on back burner. If you want to live abroad, I can help you. We can take those steps to make that happen. If you want your life not to be on overdrive, you want to dial back, you want to actually live and enjoy the moment, you don't have to go to Istanbul to make that happen. You don't have to go to some far off Eastern place on a retreat. You don't have to do that. You can do that in your house. You just need to make some adjustments. So this is the year that you tap into yourself and do that. So go ahead, start by getting the power of pause. Then start making some decisions for yourself. If this content has been something that you enjoyed, please like, share, and subscribe. It's free. It's not costing you nothing to share this with somebody. It's not costing you nothing to even like it. Also, send me a comment. Tell me what you like or don't like. Tell me, give me some questions. I will answer. I answer all my comments, all of them. So tell me what it is that you are looking to achieve in 2025. You don't have to hire me, but let me help support you and encourage you through the process. Until next time, thank you for joining me. I hope and pray that you take the steps that are necessary for you to live the life that you desire to live now versus later, because tomorrow's not promised for none of us, not even me. But thank you for joining me. Thank you for taking this time. And again, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And go ahead and take an hour of your time and spend $7.95 and get the power of pause. Until next time, remember this. This is your life. You are the captain of your ship. You deserve the things that you desire. And you're the only thing preventing you from getting it. Until next time, you stay blessed.